Okay, here we go.
Please note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream with me, Gisela K. This is Grizzly True Crime. Today we're going to be looking at a case that just happened over this past weekend in Florida. And it's very scary. And we're going to be watching a press conference and looking at some articles and clips and things like that. So it's a brand new case. And let's see what the sheriff, Grady Judd, has to say. Welcome to all my moderators, patrons, members, subscribers, and anyone who's new here, maybe you're local here as well. As I say, this happened in Florida in an area called Frostproof. Also, if you haven't yet, please like and share so that others know that we are live right now and they can follow this case with us. And to those of you in the USA, I hope that you are enjoying the eclipse. I watched some of the live feeds of it as well. I hope that you're doing well there in the USA today. So, okay, first, mugshot time. Well, let's start with some mugshot time. How about that? Here we go. Okay, so look at this guy. This is Emmanuel Espinoza, 21 years old, a pre-med student, described as someone remarkable, at his grades, like a genius. A little bit Ed Kemper vibes now, though, if you know who Ed Kemper is. Serial killer, right? But he started by killing somebody else and then his mother. That rage towards his mother, which seemed to come out of nowhere, it's same here. It's just the sheriff, you'll see, says this is just a bizarre case. Like, just out of nowhere, this guy went to visit his mom and he drove from the University of Florida to Frostproof. It was almost 3 hours. And he actually said to her, "Can I come stay there this weekend?" And she said, "Sure." And when he got there on Saturday, as in April 6th, okay? When he got there, I don't know if he rang the doorbell or knocked on the door. Either way, could just imagine, like, "Hello, I'm here." At around 2 p.m. on Saturday, his mom opened the door and he stabbed her more than 70 times. And she was a beloved school teacher. Seems like a wonderful, kind lady. And then he called 911. And he just confessed, like, "I stabbed my mother." And when they asked him why, which I'd love to see that police interview whenever that comes out, he just said, he wanted to do it for a long time. She just got on his nerves. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So let me just quickly show you a picture. This lady's also on my thumbnail. Shame. Elvia Espinoza was a much loved local teacher. This is the victim. Can you imagine? It's just so sudden, even though he said, "I wanted to do it for a long time because, she just got on my nerves." But then when the sheriff asked him, "Well, what was your relationship with your mother like?" He's like, "Oh, it was great. Really love her. And it was about 8 out of 10. Like, isn't that so crazy? Yes, and Blue Bear Art says 70 times. And apparently, he had cuts on his hands and he was going to ask his mom for some medication for it. And then he looked and he's like, "Oh, yeah, I just stabbed her." Okay, I'll call 911. Like, oh my goodness. Bummer Cat says, what kind of meds was he taking? I don't know. But he said he knew exactly where to stab as well because of his, pre-med university studies, the biology and all of that. So, oh my goodness. Okay, now, let me fetch quickly this clip here from, let me boost it as well for us. We like to boost it. From Poke Sheriff, Grady Judd. He actually has his own YouTube channel, which I like it when they do that. I really do. I really think all sheriffs, come to YouTube. Get off Facebook. Come to YouTube, man. Sorry, Facebook. Come to YouTube, everyone. So he's got his own channel, and this was the first video that he posted a day ago. And then there was a follow-up press conference where they shared much more info. So I'm going to start with those video clips so we can get all the detail, and then I'll recap with some articles as well. Joe Jackalone is in the chat. If you guys have not checked out when Joe Jackalone was on our show here, he's a Grizzly and he was a guest. Please do check out those episodes about the Long Island serial killer. And also check out his channel, because he's got lots of quizzes there that make us all very smart. I fail many of his quizzes, and then I learn, and then I do very well in the second round. We do love Joe Jacqueline's quizzes. So, are we ready to listen to this? Here we go.
Espinoza was 46 years of age, and she lived in the forest in a very nice house south of Frostproof. Her son was a University of Florida pre-med student in Gainesville. His name was Emmanuel Espinoza. He was 22 years of age. He was coming from Gainesville to Frostproof for a family event for a grandparent this weekend, and he asked his mom if he could stay with her, and she said sure. He arrived about 2 o'clock driving this vehicle. He knocked on the front door, and when Mom opened the door, he began to stab her, and he stabbed her many times. She ran from him. She was talking to a family member on the phone, and in addition to that, he stabbed her until she fell down and died. We talked to him, and he confessed. He said, you know, I have wanted to kill my mother for many, many years because she got on my nerves. Then we asked him, what's your relationship with your mother? And he said about an 8 out of 10, that he really loved her. But she irritated him, and he made up his mind today on his way from Gainesville that he would murder her, and that's exactly what he did. As soon as he murdered her, he dialed 911 and immediately confessed to the 911 operators. We have him in custody right now. He is cooperating with us. This is a horrible event. Mom is a second grade teacher at Ben Hill Griffin Elementary in Frostproof, Florida, and is well loved by the community. It's a very sad day with an inexplicable, vicious murder.
The amount of trauma that this guy has caused to so many people. Imagine the family member on the phone. Okay, firstly, the victim, his mom, who must have gotten the fright of her life. And as someone said, Michelle, so it was planned. He showed up with a knife. Yeah, it must have been, because immediately as he gets there, and as the sheriff said, he decided that day, yeah, he's going to kill her. That is so scary. And to be like, hey, can I come stay with you? And they were getting ready to go to some family event for a grandparent. And the mom's just like, oh, hey, she must have been so happy to see her youngest son. She's a mother of 3. There he is, 21 years old, pre-med student, apparently a genius. Well, okay. He arrives and just stabs her more than 70 times. Imagine the family member on the phone hearing all of that. Imagine all of the kids in her class that surely loved her so much. There were so many, I've seen quite a lot of articles and reports and Facebook posts of everyone just saying, what? Like, she was such a beloved teacher. My goodness. Patty said, Sheriff Grady Judd is an excellent storyteller, except the subject matter is always horrifying. Yes, indeed. Yes. So now let's have a look at the next clip, which is a press conference from an hour ago. I was actually researching this case a bit, and I'm like, wait, what happened here? And then I saw, whoa, there's a press conference. We must watch this together, because they're going to share a little bit more info, because we didn't have much yet. So this all happened on Saturday, as I say, Saturday, April 6th, as in the Saturday, just passed. Shame, man. And imagine all the family members. I mean, they must be so shocked. And apparently, his sister, so, Elvia's daughter came over. Imagine the fright she would have gotten, because of course they were all going to meet, for a family event. Okay, so just hold on 1 second. I just quickly have to boost this as well for us. Just want to make sure that it is nice so that we can hear it. Okay. Now we can get it here and make sure it's nice and, full screen. Okay, let's have a listen to this press conference. This press conference is about 20 minutes long. I might here and there just pause and make some comments. If that's not your thing, go to the channel itself, which is actually called Poke Sheriff, and you can watch it there without any interruptions. Okay, here on my channel, it's kind of the point of having a channel. I talk about things. So thank you for being here to watch this with me.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being with me this afternoon. I've got two issues that I want to talk with you about, and they're both really, really tragic. First off, I want to introduce you to Elvia Espinoza. She's 46.
Elvia. I said Elvia. Elvia Espinoza. I hope I'm saying it right.
She was a teacher at Ben Hill Griffin Elementary School, a second grade teacher. She had 3 children. She's described as the perfect mother. She was a beloved teacher in the Frostproof area. She had 3 children, and her 3 children were remarkable. And then I want to introduce you to her youngest child, Emmanuel Espinoza. He's 21. He's known as Manny. He was the 2020 Frostproof valedictorian with a 4.5 GPA.
Known as Manny, now known as Baby Boy. Or what should we call him? I don't know. But what was he thinking? I do ask myself, like, what was he on? What was he thinking? Was this, how long did he premeditate this? I mean, he said for many years, but okay, let's just, sorry to interrupt there. I just want to just listen to his achievements.
He was the 2020 Frostproof valedictorian with a 4.5 GPA average. He was quoted at his high school graduation by saying, "High school was just one of the chapters out of the many we will have throughout our lives. We still have so much to accomplish in the future that will define what kind of legacy the class of 2020 will leave behind." That's right. He was described as being a genius, of being remarkably brilliant. He was a pre-med student in his 4th year at the University of Florida. The next chapter of his life was to be a medical doctor. And interestingly enough, he was the youngest of 3 children. Mom called on Saturday morning and said, "Manny, I haven't seen you in a while." They would text about every other day. "I'd like to come up to Gainesville to see you." And he said, "Well, Mom, I'm visiting grandfather this weekend. He has an event, so I'll be down your way." She said, "That's great. Why don't you stay with me at the house?" And he said, "Sure, I'd love to." He arrived at about 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And we're going to show a clip. He had put earbuds in his ear, and he was playing No Church in the Wow when he drove up to the house and knocked on the front door. But before we go further, listen to this. This is the music he was listening to.
Okay, so initially the sheriff had played the song, but I think him being on YouTube got hold of that song very quickly, because YouTube's very strict with music, okay? So he played a bit of the song, and so normally YouTube in the back end would then tell you, "Hey, do you maybe want to mute that part or what? Because this is now a copyright problem." So they muted that part of the song, but the song that he mentioned is this No Church in the Wild. If you want to look it up, I'm not going to be reading out all these lyrics. Then I'm going to get in trouble with YouTube. But it's called No Church in the Wild, a song by Jay-Z and Kanye West. Now, again, I wouldn't blame the song. I think it just adds to the interest of the case, of what was he doing exactly at the moment when he's driving and he's like decided this is what he'll do. He's got his, AirPods in and listening to the song. So let's talk about human beings in a mob, and what's a mob to a king, and what's a king to a god, and all kinds of things. So if you want to look it up yourself, No Church in the Wild is what it's called. All right, now back to the press conference. Sorry, now I'm going to have to go forward.
In his ear when he walked.
There we go.
That was the music in his ear when he walked up to the front door. He said that he had just been angry or not liked his mother for years and years. When we said, do you love her? He said, oh yeah, I love her. Do y'all get along? Yeah, 8 out of 10 we get along. But I've wanted to kill her for years, and I made up my mind as I drove from Gainesville, today is the day. And he then showed up at the front door. Now we got a video clip of a Ring camera, and you can see the knife as he approaches the.
Okay, I'm going to try and zoom in here for us so that we can actually see what's going on here as they play it. I see there's a lot of course, we're an international audience, so lots of people are not from the USA and asking, well, is a 4.5 GPA good? From my understanding, a 5 GPA is the max, right? That's the highest you can get. So 4.5 is, you're like in the top 10. Am I right? Top 10%, I mean. So Keep Grinding Up said straight A's is 4.0. You do advanced placement and honors classes, you can get that up to 4.5. There's nothing higher than that. But is it 5 as the highest or 4.5 as the highest? Let me know. But okay, so he did really, really well academically. In life, not so much. Well done, dumbass. Now you're going to be probably in prison for the rest of your life. He is facing first-degree murder charges. Of course, because this is very much premeditated. Let me just quickly see if I can zoom in a bit more here for us, because I know we like to see these types of things and make sure, because at a press conference, of course, you can only see it on the screen there. So let's just see like this. Maybe they'll release it on their Facebook page afterwards, right? Let me just quickly see. Wolverine says 4.0 is max, over 4.0 is highest. Oh my goodness. Wow, okay. Cook 13 Doodle said 4.5 is genius. Well, no wonder they call him genius and remarkable and all that, right? So I guess I don't have to say genius. Genius, but also dumbass in life, right? Like, what was he thinking? Oh my goodness. Way to throw your life away and kill your mother? Oh my goodness.
Front door.
I'm just pausing a little bit.
Notice behind his back.
Oh my word, there it is, there it is. Wait, let's make it a little bit brighter for you. How about that? Because the video is a little bit dark. So I want to show you. There, right there. Oh my word, that is so scary to see it like that. Whoa, here we go. One more time from the front. Here we go.
Notice behind his back. There's the knife. He tried to open the door, and the door was locked, so he knocked on the door, and his beautiful mother was so excited to see her son, she opened the door. The second she opened the door, he charged in and started stabbing her. He made the statement that he knew where to stab her for maximum effect because of his biology classes. We have another audio that we're not going to play from the inside of the house where she's screaming, Manny, 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 and he's not saying one word. He stabbed her in excess of 70 times. He once again told us he loved his mom. As she tried to get up off of the floor, he stabbed her some more. He said he noticed her hands were still moving, so he stabbed her some more. And then he told the detectives in his confession that he had cut his hand on the knife while stabbing his mother. And as he's standing at the kitchen sink, washing himself off and the knife, he wanted to ask his mother for the Neosporin for the cut on his hand. But he noticed she was dead.
Any psychologists in the house? Like, what does that mean? We don't want to armchair diagnose. I just mean, if he's like, oh, I was going to ask for the Neosporin. Oh, damn. She's dead. He's so disconnected from reality, from himself. And he looks so calm walking up to that door, right? It's very scary. Oh my goodness.
He immediately called 911. and confessed. And we have a clip of that for you.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, tell me exactly what happened.
I killed someone.
Okay, I've got help on the way. Stay on the line. What? Stay on the line with me, okay? I've got help on the way for you, okay? Okay, sir. Okay, I want you, yes, sir, I want you to take everything out of your pockets, and I want you to keep your hands out of your pockets, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how did this happen?
I opened the door and I stabbed my mom.
He said he stabbed his mom.
Now that audio was quite distorted, right? I hope at some point we can actually get like a clean copy of the 911 call. Not the audio from the house. That sounds very distressing, of course. And she was shouting his name, Manny, because his name's Emmanuel, but they called him, his nickname was Manny. That is terrifying. But there he just said, oh yeah, I stabbed my mom. He sounds very calm, right? My goodness. It's like, remember, there are some killers that listen to songs to get themselves in the zone, you know? Again, I'm not blaming the songs or the artist or something. It's like, you know, Jeffrey Dahmer liked to watch The Exorcist, and if I ever say that, and people are like, how dare you say that about The Exorcist? It's not about the movie. It's about studying the defendant and what kind of mode they're getting into, you know? So it's like Chris Watts was also listening to something. Wasn't it Metallica or something? I don't know. He was listening to something as well. This one was listening to that No Church in the Wild song. It's just unbelievable.
Now, I want you to understand, this lady who was a school teacher for 20 years actually moved around and taught at different schools while her children were in school so she could be close to them. I want you to understand she was really the perfect mom. I want you to understand that she was very proud of his accomplishments in going to the University of Florida, graduating #1 in his high school class. And then I want you to understand that he viciously murdered her and confessed to it. We asked him, are you on any drugs or alcohol? No. He said, I've wanted to do this for some time, but I didn't have the nerve to do it. So I just made up my mind that today was the day. And it was. Quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what else to say about this. It is one of the most bizarre murders that we've dealt with in a very long time.
I would think that they would do a drug and alcohol test on him, right? Just to check that. Imagine if he really was completely calm and sober. Nothing in his system. And just like, I just decided. So off I went. Just like, hey, don't worry, I'm going to be in your area. Because his mom wanted to spend some time with him. Like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Maybe we could spend some time together. It's like, well, I'm coming through to your side, you know, to visit Grandpa. So can I stay with you? She says, yeah. As soon as he gets there, he knocks on the door, she opens, and he stabs her more than 70 times while she's on the phone to another relative. Wow.
And when you see that he left a family behind that loved him, a mom that just worshiped her children, and at this very moment, she should have been in Ben Hill Griffin Elementary creating a future and educating our second graders, it is incomprehensible as to what happened that day. Before I go on to the second event, are there any questions about this?
Yeah, sure. Like you said, it really makes no sense when you hear the story. Is there any history of mental health issues?
No history of alcohol abuse, drug abuse, no history of mental health abuse or needs, no history.
Mental health abuse. Oh dear. Okay, no history of anything. It's just clean record, no criminal record, no history of drug, alcohol abuse, no mental health problems that were reported. Just suddenly, he's like, this is bizarre, right? I didn't see victim blaming in chat, but here at Grizzly True Crime, we do not victim blame. Okay, that is just completely tactless and unkind. It's not the victim's fault. It's 100% the defendant's fault. If someone is annoyed with someone else, it doesn't mean you can kill them. Yeah, that should be obvious. I laugh like that because I'm like, Do we really have to say that? Sometimes, yes, sometimes.
History of Baker Acts, no arrest history, no problems at all. He was known as kind of being an introvert, kind of a quiet guy. Zero issues.
No 911 calls to the house?
No 911 calls about him. No argument with her. She wanted to come see him because she hadn't seen him in a while. They text every day, every other day. They stay in constant contact. No issues over money. She would send him money to make sure she appropriately funded his ability to go to college and enjoy the college life. And no argument that day. He never said a word to her.
Did he say she beat him in the past or any type
Nothing.
of...
Zero. He described her as a good mom, that she loved him and he loved her. And when we said, well, how well did you get along with your mom? And he says, 8 out of 10. It is the strangest event we've seen in a very long time.
I know we're trying to make sense of something that doesn't make sense, but the annoying or getting on, any elaboration on that, or just normal mom stuff?
He made one statement that sometimes mom talks out loud to herself. She'll ask herself questions and then answer her question. He said, that's going on for years. Well, who doesn't talk out loud? Oh, I forgot the keys. Oh, there they are. He couldn't even seek out, because our detectives asked him, like, come on, man, why? I just, I've thought about killing her for years.
Did he feel like she was a source of pressure on him to get good grades? And
he didn't express any of that.
have you guys reached out?
And even if the pressure is there, even if, still doesn't mean you can kill your parents. Even if he fantasized about it, still doesn't mean you can kill your parents or your mom. I wonder where the dad is. They haven't mentioned, her husband or the dad or anything at all. I know that he's got 2 siblings. He's the youngest of 3. He's 21. I'm not sure of the exact age of the other siblings, but he's 21. The other 2 are older, right? Yuna says, my son is the same age, a confirmed genius, same age. This mom did nothing wrong. I'm blown away. Me too, right? This case, wow. Someone earlier, they said it's hard to find the lessons in this case. It is. It's difficult to say, well, what can we learn from this? Because this is so violent and out of the blue. I would say, well, you just don't know what someone is thinking about, right? You just don't know. You can't judge a book by its cover or by its achievements, because he's achieving well. He seemed to be functioning well in life. We don't know much about him yet, but to do this, it's quite something.
Out to UF to see if there's any reports that they've gotten about him or maybe from roommates?
So far, we have gone back and searched his room at UF, and we don't see any information there, any notes, any communications that are indicative of this conduct or planning of such a murder. And obviously, we will, as part of the follow-up investigation, as you understand, this happened just Saturday afternoon, and we're still in the preliminary stages of the investigation. But I think that's what makes it so difficult for any of us to understand, is you've got this wonderful mom, and she's not only wonderful for her family, for her children, but you've also got this mom that has spent years teaching and is so well loved in the community. So it's very frustrating to all of us. The next event that I'm going to talk about is a vehicle crash. 3 people died needlessly on Highway 60 east of Lake Wells and west of the county line on a 2-lane highway.
I don't think this is related. I'm just going to listen for a second here.
Today, I'm going to show you one of the person that passed
Okay, so that's different. That's different. So this happened in Florida. If you're only joining now, in Frostproof. I've never heard of that area before. Frostproof, Florida. The guy was coming from Gainesville, where the University of Florida is. And his mom had said, can I come and see you? Haven't seen you in a while. He said, don't worry. Can I come to you instead? And can I stay with you for the weekend? Because I'm going to see Grandpa. It's going to be some family event. But it sounded like he said, can I come stay with you? Because I'm going to go and visit Grandpa. And she said, sure. And then, as we saw, the video, the ring cam, walks calmly up to the door with a knife behind his back. His mom opens the door. She's on the phone to someone, probably like, oh, hey. And the next minute, he stabbed her more than 70 times. And she was screaming his name the whole time. Like, Manny, it must have been... Oh, she must have got such a fright. Okay, let's just quickly use this one as well to hear from some neighbors.
Community is devastated after a local elementary school teacher was murdered by her own son. Good evening, I'm Allison Henning. Thank you for joining us. Deputies have charged 21-year-old Emmanuel Espinoza with first-degree murder after he admitted to stabbing his mother to death. News Channel 8's Georgia MacArthur spoke with neighbors who knew her and joins us from Polk County with more.
Deputies say Emmanuel Espinoza drove nearly 3 hours to his mother's home in Polk County. The shocking incident has left neighbors stunned, prompting questions as to why Emmanuel would kill his own mother. Residents in a quiet neighborhood are in disbelief after learning 21-year-old Emmanuel Espinoza, a pre-med student, drove from Gainesville to Frostproof to kill his mother.
Hard to believe. Who does that to their parents? I mean, especially, obviously he was in school. I'm sure she worked very hard to get him there as a parent over the years.
Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd says Elvia Espinoza tried to run, but her son chased her down until she fell and died. The scene unfolding next door to Chris Steckel.
We didn't know it was her at first until the daughter showed up. And then when the daughter showed up and said, I want to see my mom, where's my mom, and just broke down, that's when we knew it.
The sheriff says the 21-year-old confessed to the crime.
He said, I have wanted to kill my mother for many, many years because she got on my nerves. Then we asked him, what's your relationship with your mother? And he said about an 8 out of 10, that he really loved her. But she irritated him.
Find out that he says he has a good relationship with her and then do something like that, that's just unbelievable.
Elvia was a second-grade teacher at Ben Hill Griffin Elementary School. The school district released a statement saying, in part, quote, her students and colleagues greatly loved her and her sudden, unexpected death is a devastating loss. She was a very special part of her school family. We ask everyone to keep her family and loved ones in your prayers. Teachers at the Polk County School District say they are asking for staff and students to wear bright colors in honor of Elvia Espinoza. The school district also says they will have grief counselors on the campus for faculty, staff, and students. In Polk County, George MacArthur, 8.
Shame. All the students. I'll show you this quickly. Which, wow, look at these latest posts. Second case of rabies in Polk County. All right, we'll just minimize that for a second. No. That was a scary picture. So, community mourning the loss of beloved Frostproof teacher who was brutally murdered by her son. By Carl Fish, Frostproof, Florida. The small community of Frostproof is totally devastated this morning after the brutal murder of local teacher. This happened on Saturday, for anyone only joining now, on April 6th. And so they said, according to Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd, the teacher, Elvia Espinoza, 46, she was only 46 years old, was currently teaching second grade at Ben Hill Griffin. According to Sheriff Judd, it was Espinoza's 21-year-old son that murdered her. The son, Emmanuel Espinoza, reportedly made up his mind that he was going to kill his mom, who he loved, because she got on his nerves. It's almost like he had this conflict within himself because he said, I finally decided, so he'd been thinking about it for a long time. I wonder, just from a psychological point, and how did it feel, dude? I mean, did it soothe you in any way? Did it calm the conflict, or what the hell were you thinking? We don't care about how it felt for him. I'm just saying, what on earth happened here? And he cannot now... pull that insanity defense card because there's no history of any mental health issues. He wasn't on any psychiatric meds. He confessed. He was calm. He told the investigators exactly why he did it. So, first degree murder, who knows if it'll even go to trial. Maybe it'll just be like, yep, I did it. I don't need to go to trial. Like, okay. Very strange. So, I don't know if there was pressure or if he personally felt like there's too much pressure in his life and he cracked under the pressure. But you still, no matter what, don't kill people. That's a rule, right? Joe Jackalone says, just to think how many people have ever got on my nerves. Right? No, we don't go around killing people who get on our nerves. There's a lot of people, right? Okay, all we do is snark. Okay, that's what we can do. Or walk away. Or block. Block button works very well. So, okay, this guy clearly... Sure. He didn't. He just went there. I just can't believe it. Look, there's the car and everything. They said the son reportedly made up his mind that he was going to kill his mom, who he loved. Nah, then you don't know what love is at all. He says, who did he love? Because she got on his nerves. He's a University of Florida pre-med student, and he came to his mother's home as she answered the door, started stabbing her until he eventually killed her. In that other clip we just saw, they said she was trying to run away, which is also very scary. That she tried to get away from him, and he just carried on stabbing her. I mean, if you really think how many times 70 times is, wow. Remember in Tristan Bailey's case when her sister, also in Florida, put those little like pebbles in a glass, I would say vase with my accent, you guys would say vase, to show how many times Aiden Fucci, sorry, memory, I'm just going to the case file in my head, had stabbed her. Just think of 70 times. If you had a glass and you put in like 70 stones or something, it's a lot. 70 times. Oh my goodness. He just went on and on and on. That's a lot of rage that he was carrying around in there. They said the news broke shortly after 9:30 p.m. and tens of thousands read the Daily Ridge article in less than an hour. Not only did people read and share the article, they shared personal stories and feelings about Elvia Espinoza. Prayers for her family and students and colleagues. She's very loved by many. I don't know how to tell my daughter that her teacher went to heaven. Imagine all the kids with broken hearts now because their teacher's gone. And our parents have to explain, like, that must be quite something as well to try to explain what happened here. It must be so scary. My girl is sleeping now, but I'm not sure how to even put it into words for her. And to have to tell her and then send her to school. OMG, Elvia was one of the sweetest people. She will be missed. I've worked with Elvia many years at the school. She loved her family, her friends, and students. We passed each other in the hallway Friday afternoon. She said, have a good weekend and see you Monday. I am heartbroken over this. I worked with Elvia for 5 years at FMSHS when she was a para and school secretary. Wonderful woman. So heartbreaking to lose just a sweet, kind-hearted person praying for her students and family, especially her other 2 children who are dealing with something so devastating that no person should ever have to endure. You'll be missed in our little town, Elvia. I mourn my friend tonight. She was a phenomenal mother and grandmother. I had the honor of knowing her for many years and my heart is broken. Rest in peace, my sweet friend, till we meet again. My daughter is broken. She cried herself to sleep tonight. Mrs. Espinoza was a wonderful teacher. She's always going to be in our hearts, prayers for her and her family. Another one said, this is truly heartbreaking. Mrs. Espinoza was always so nice when my kids went to school, and I have the fondest memories of her. She worked in the office at the high school at the time, and she will surely be missed. I feel so much for all the sweet babies in her 2nd grade class that are now left to deal with the questions and emotions of this ugly, senseless ordeal. I pray that peace falls upon each of them and that this doesn't follow any of them throughout the rest of their year. As for Mrs. Espinoza's family, no family should ever have to go through such a horrific event. My thoughts and prayers are with you. Shame, oh my goodness. And then I want to show you this one as well, just to recap, which is from WFLA. Hey, JB. I always like going to JB's chat when he's like, hello, hey, JB. And so I like it when he puts my question on the screen as well. It's like, Grizzly True Crime. Great to see you here. Okay, I don't think they've covered this one yet, but they do have an article for us. So, Polk County Public Schools is mourning the loss of one of their 2nd grade teachers who was fatally stabbed to death by her son at her Frostproof home. Elvia Espinoza, 46, was a teacher at Frostproof Ben Hill Griffin Junior Elementary. The school has made phone calls to the parents of her second grade students to make them aware of her passing. In a Sunday statement, we heard exactly what Sheriff Grady Judd said. Her students and colleagues greatly loved her, and her sudden unexpected death is a devastating loss. She was a very special part of her school family, the school district said. We ask everyone to keep her family and loved ones in your prayers. On Sunday, one neighbor of Elvia spoke out about the sudden loss. Hard to believe we saw that clip. Who does that to a parent? I mean, obviously, he was in school. I'm sure she worked hard to get him there, and I'm sure she did. As a parent over the years, Chris Dickel said, to find out he had a great relationship with her and does something like that is unbelievable. So he is currently, they said, we've gone over a lot of this. I just want to make sure we don't miss anything. He is currently, if I look on VineLink, Emmanuel Espinoza, 21 years old, male. Let me just see here. Wait, here. His custody detail is in the Polk County Jail. Book date says April 7th at 2:18 a.m. Custody status date was April 6th at 10:58 p.m. So we've got that, and I think I've shown you that mugshot as well. Damn, a lot of adverts on here. Okay. Just quick. Excuse the adverts. Okay, so I wonder what they want me to buy there. Okay, so a beloved Florida elementary school teacher was murdered by a pre-med student's son because she got on his nerves. We know that. I just want to show you another picture that they actually have here. A lot of times the Daily Mail has, additional pictures that they find. So I just want to show you that as well. Oh, here's the mugshot time. Again, he really looks angry. Looks bothered over here. Very angry and very cold eyes in this picture. My goodness. So here is a picture. Shame, man. When they said Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd said Emmanuel, second from the left, admitted to wanting to kill his mother. Second from the right. For years because she got on his nerves. Wow. He dialed 911 immediately and confessed, as we know. She irritated him, he said. Wow. She ran away from him. She was talking to a family member on the phone. And in addition to that, he stabbed her until she fell down and died. Oh, what a selfish act as well. I mean, that's an understatement. But you know what I mean? Not thinking of any of the other family members, of his siblings, of anyone. Just going in there with one thing in mind. She's so beautiful. Shame. 46 years old. Here's some more pictures. They said the sheriff said they asked Emmanuel about his relationship with his mother, and he said that he really loved her, but that she irritated him. So here he is again. Here, I wonder if this is his dad. This is her. And his siblings. It probably would be, they don't say, but I'm speculating, but dad, mom, sister, him, brother. Oh man, I don't even have the words to say to them. I'm so sorry for your loss. That's terrible. This is very shocking. Rochelle says, such a beautiful woman gone way too soon. Yes, look at her. Here he is. Look very different than that mugshot, right? University of Florida pre-med student Emmanuel Espinoza was driving from Gainesville to Frostproof when he decided to kill his mother. Moonchild 55 says, forgive 70 times 7, and he stabbed her. Forgive 70 times 7, and he stabbed her 70 times. He stabbed her more than 70 times, what they said. I wonder how, I don't know. I don't know how many times. I mean, 70 is a lot, right? Leslie Roth says, everyone. Leslie Roth, you're a grizzly. You say, everyone irritates me. It's because you're a grizzly. You're one of us. Okay. So no, not everyone irritates. I just find that comment. But everyone irritates me, right? We don't go around killing people. Like, what is this guy doing? Anyway, so I just want to make sure that I've shown you everything. I did indeed. That is what I have for you today. I will keep you posted on this case. I'm sure we'll find out more. Hopefully at some point they release the police interview, depending on, sometimes they don't release it, of course, before the trial. But then again, it is Florida. And we've seen Sarah Boone's police interviews and things. So all we can do is ask, right? Maybe a copy of the 911 call just to hear it a little bit more clearly as well. So if you want to hear the 911 call or see the ring cam footage or anything like that, and you missed it and you only joined now, just go back and I will timestamp it for you as well. You can check it out. So sending lots of love to Elvia's family and friends. This is incredibly shocking. I'm at a loss for words. I can't imagine how they're feeling and how to actually process that, and how much, resentment they would have towards him now. Like, what on earth was he doing? So, thinking of them, thank you, mods. Thank you so much, everyone. Yuna says, not victim blaming. I hope to hell that my boys has bonds with other people before we get to this. Purely maybe because I'm trying to understand. You mean you think maybe he was like a little bit like a Koberger? A little bit isolated? Or what? Got some Koberger vibes from him as well. I don't know. It's just like so sudden and calculated. Like, that's what I'm going to do. So dumb, right? Thank you, Yuna. I really appreciate it. I will see you all again very soon. Make sure that you like and share so that others can also learn about this case. If there's any other press conferences or documents or anything that comes out, I will keep you posted. I actually hope he just pleads guilty and doesn't put the whole family through a trial as well, right? That would be the manny thing to do. Okay, so see you again soon. Make sure you subscribe with your notifications on so that you don't miss out, because as you can see, I just go live whenever we have something to talk about, whenever we're ready, whenever I've done enough research on something, whatever it is. So you just never know. I don't have a schedule, so make sure your notifications are on, okay? And if you want backup notifications, best place is Patreon. You always get your notifications there straight to your email. Okay, everyone, I'll see you again very soon. Bye.